Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how we put together the kit of the month for February. This is the finished piece, obviously not decorated, but it comes in lots of different pieces and I'll show you how to put it all together. So first of all, you've got this blank circle and you've got 3 rings which are all identical. All of these will be glued together and they'll be glued over to the top of that eventually. Don't do that just yet. Now you've got 2 pieces which are the same size like this, but you'll notice one has got a slightly larger hole, and it's that one that sits on top of there. And the reason why it's got a larger hole is because we want to allow for it to go over this part of this bolt, so that will sit in there and it will sit flush through there like that. Whereas if you try and do it through the smaller one, it doesn't go through, it doesn't sit flush, so you've got to make sure you've got the right one. So that's that one there. And then you get you get this piece, and this is where you're going to slot in all the kind of sides, if you like. You should have this piece which corresponds to all the holes and things that you've got there. You should have 4 of these which have got a little tab top and bottom, and then you'll have 4 of these which has got a tab at the top but a little, like it's an indent at the bottom rather than a tab. And then you'll have 4 of these which are identical in size, it doesn't matter which way round you place them, and they've all got like 2 little tabs on each side like that. Then we have the bits that go on the top. So we've got the plain big ring, this one that I showed you earlier which has got the same size hole there, and then that one will go on top of there and that one will go on top of there. So that's how that goes together. So first of all, oh, and also we have got the bolt and the butterfly nut, so you can put that on the top like that. Okay, so first things first, what actually happens is this piece will sit on the bottom of the unit. So this piece here that you're looking at is actually this bit here, and then you can see under here, that's where you've got your 3 rings under there, and your base piece and your bit that you threadle your bolt through. So we put that to one side. Okay, so what we can do first of all is we can start building up these pieces to go on here, and it's going to consist of you'll have one of the ones with the nodule top and bottom which fit onto there like that, and then you'll have one with the tab at the top but just the indent on the bottom, and that goes onto there like that. Now as you'll see here, you've got slot, 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 and you've got the same there. So that and that, when this is all glued together, they will all fit into there. But what you need to make sure that you do is you need to make sure that when you glue all this in, I'll just try and pop this in without gluing it for a second, it's a little bit fiddly like that. What you need to make sure that you have is on the inner part is where you've got the bit with the little tab at the top, and the outer part is where you've got the little indent there. Let's see if I can hold that, that's better. So when you eventually go to put this top bit on, which you will do, that will go on there, and you'll see that there's a little tab here and there's a little slot there. So that will go into the little tab that you had on the inside there. So I shall pop that on there like that, and then that will fit in to that piece on the outside there, like that. But obviously we do this on all 4 sides, so you don't want to put this top bit on first of all. Your first job is to create these little H shapes. So again, you're going to have one end which has got a tab top and bottom, one end with just a tab, and then an indent, and then you want to create your 4 H shapes. So I shall do that and then restart the video. Okay, I'm just going to show you the last one. I'm using a decent PVA glue, and then I've already glued one end in, so I'm literally running a bit of glue along there, there and there, and then you can, if you want to, just put a little bit on the tab as well, and then we just push that down onto there like that, and then you'll see that that's now created your 4 H shapes that I said earlier, like that. So they are all now ready to be glued into your base piece. So as I said at the beginning, just to remind you, you've got one side which has got a tab top and bottom, and you've got one side which has got a tab and an indent. Now when you glue this in, you can only glue in to this one ones with tabs all the way along. If you try to put it in with the indent going down, you won't have a little tab in there and it won't work. So it's always going to be the end with the 2 tabs at the ends as well as in the middle, and then they are going to go in to there. But when you glue them in, as I said at the beginning, you need to make sure that the one with your indent is on the outside, not on the inside. So I shall glue these in and then come back. Okay, so you can see I've popped some glue on to those tabs there, and then as I said, the slot needs to go to the outside with the tab on the inside, and they literally just pop down into those slots in the base. I'm trying to do this standing up, so it's making it a little bit tricky. That's it, and then you can see that that's all your sides all glued in like that. Okay, then the next stage is we need to actually pop this onto here, so we need to glue it on. So you want to be putting some glue in all the areas that you can. We want a good snug fit, like that, and along there and there. Like that, and then you can, if you want to as well, add a bit of glue on the tabs on the ends there. Like that. Doesn't really matter how much glue you put on, it'll all paint over. You can decorate over it. And then, yeah, this is a little bit fiddly because you've kind of got to get everything all lined up, but it will go, and you'll feel it as you manoeuvre it. You'll feel it kind of snap into place. Like that. We're not quite there in the middle. That one's okay. One needs to move over over a fraction like that. That's it. You can kind of feel it popping in. It's this one that's out here. Let's just move that one out a fraction. Like that. That's it. And then that's the last one there. And that pops down like that. And it'll pay you just to sort of hold it there for a little while until it's all nicely glued and solid, until the glue's dry. So that's what you do with that. Okay, so I shall leave that to dry off a little bit, and then I shall come back to the next stage. Okay, we're going to move on to the base now. So you've got obviously your 3 rings, you've got the very bottom piece, and then this is the piece that your bolt goes into. So first of all, we're going to glue the 3 rings together. So a good splodge of glue, like that. Try and keep them together as much as possible. I'm going to do another one. Like that. So that's those 3. And then I'm going to glue the one with the hole on to one side. Glue there. Like that. Pop that on there like that. Now at this point you could just put some pegs on, or any type of clip, just to hold it all in place until it dries. It's not too bad, that's pretty good. So what we do next, before we glue the base on, we need to put our bolt in. So that literally just pops into there like that. And then we can glue that bolt into that base. I'm going to pop that over there like that. And then try and hold it all together. The bolt will be a bit wibbly wobbly, that's fine, don't worry about that. That's going to be a little bit more secure very soon. Okay, so that's now done, and then you'll see on the base of here you have a central hole. So you can now threadle that bolt up through that central hole, and you want it to come out of the hole at the top here. So again, you've got to just fiddle around with it a little bit until you get it there. Let me just move that around from underneath a little bit. Here we go, nearly there. Nearly had it then. There we go. Come on, through you go. Disappeared again. That's it. Right, so that sits on there like that. Now you don't want to glue this piece to that piece, because we want it to be able to move. That bolt will hold it in place, so you don't want any glue on between those 2 layers whatsoever. Okay, then you have these 4 pieces here like this, and they will go on one on top of the other on here. Now each of these you can glue, so the easiest way is to just glue these pieces Don't get too near the bolt because we don't want the bolt sticking or anything. So put plenty of glue on those 4 pieces there, like that, and then pop that over the top and then let that glue onto there. And then with these 3 pieces you are just gluing each one on. Now of course you might do different decoration on each one, so you may not want to glue them straight away. You might want to sort of do some decorating before you glue the whole thing together. I would recommend you kind of glue a bit of your base and that together beforehand, or if you do want to decorate before you put it all together, then definitely try to avoid getting the little tabs too painty and too wet, and also I would recommend you let the whole thing dry pretty well overnight before you try and put it together. So that's the last piece, which you pop on there like that, and then we finish it off with your wing nut, which just goes on there like that. You don't want it too tight. If it's not too tight, then it will spin nicely, and that is how you put it all together.